Most people who get into stargazing eventually hit a wall. You want that massive, light-gathering power of a big mirror, but then you realize you need a trailer just to move the thing to a dark sky site. That is exactly where this 8-inch collapsible setup changes the conversation. It is a classic Dobsonian design, but with a clever twist that actually makes sense for someone who doesn't have a permanent observatory in their backyard. The real magic here is the strut system. Instead of a solid, awkward tube that takes up half your trunk, you just loosen 3 knobs, slide the top section down, and suddenly it is compact enough to fit in the backseat of a standard sedan. What is impressive is that it doesn't feel like a compromise. Usually, when you start messing with collapsible parts, you worry about losing your alignment, but the preset stops on these steel struts mean you are back in business almost instantly. It holds its collimation surprisingly well, which is a huge relief if you are the type who just wants to get to the viewing part without spending an hour tweaking mirrors. The movement is another highlight. It uses Teflon bearings, which gives it that buttery, smooth feel when you are nudging it to track a planet or a nebula. You don't get that jerky, frustrating motion you find on cheaper mounts. Plus, those tension handles on the side are a nice touch. They let you adjust how much resistance you want, so even if you swap out a heavy eyepiece for a lighter one, the tube stays exactly where you point it. Now, let's talk about the view. With an 8-inch aperture and those high reflectivity coatings, the images are bright and crisp. You are getting observatory-grade glass here, and it shows when you are looking at the moon's craters or the faint glow of a distant galaxy. It feels solid too. Even though it is designed to be portable, it doesn't feel flimsy or cheap. The base is sturdy, and the whole thing sits firmly on the ground without wobbling every time you touch the focuser. Of course, it is not perfect. At around 40 pounds total, it is not exactly a featherweight, so you will still feel it in your arms if you are carrying it a long distance from the car to your spot. And while the included eyepieces are decent enough to get you started, you will probably find yourself wanting to upgrade to something with a wider field of view eventually. But honestly, for the price, the optical performance is hard to beat. It hits that sweet spot between being a serious piece of equipment and something that is actually manageable for a hobbyist. If you are tired of squinting through a tiny lens and want to see what the night sky actually has to offer without needing a degree in engineering to set it up, this is a solid way to go. It is practical, it is powerful, and it makes the whole process of getting out under the stars feel a lot less like a chore.
Check out the video description for updated price. And thank you for watching this video.